This is the Minimum Commitment film theory in small doses, where stadium lights can burn so bright they can blind a town to its own future. I'm Don Lawler, film scholar, sound obsessive, and someone who knows the difference between cheering for a game and needing it to save you. Let's get into it. The film Friday Night Lights, directed by Peter Berg, opens with a feeling that's hard to miss. Dust in the air, stadium bleachers filling in, the slow hum of floodlights. In Odessa, Texas, Friday night is not a pastime. It is ceremony. The town gathers under those lights like a congregation. Radios cackle. Boosters whisper predictions. Parents sit with folded arms and inherited expectations. The boys who step onto the field are teenagers, but the town treats them like something else. Symbols. Proof that their town still matters. When the jobs disappear and the economy falters, a winning football team can make a town feel powerful again. At first glance, Friday Night Lights looks like a celebration of football culture. Packed stadiums, heroic slow-motion plays, and the roar of the crowd. Beneath the surface lives a deeper question. Who benefits from the myth of Permian football? The answer is rarely the boys themselves. The myth feeds the town. Its local pride and adult nostalgia, a sense of identity that depends on victory. The players carry that weight. Not just the pressure to win, but the pressure to justify the town's belief in itself. Which means the boys are more than athletes. They are vessels. And sometimes they are offerings. The film's visual language reinforces this system. The stadium is enormous. The lights are blinding. The crowd is relentless. The boys move through it like performers inside a ritual space. The camera pushes close to bruised bodies. Sweat, helmets cracking, grass tearing beneath cleats. Every hit echoes. Every moment feels monumental, but the real pressure comes from the voices surrounding them. Football becomes more than sport. It becomes the town's measure of worth. And once that happens, losing is no longer just defeat. It feels like betrayal. The film's emotional center belongs to Boobie Miles. Played by Derek Luke, Boobie enters the story as the future. He is fast, confident, certain that football will carry him out of his small Texas town. Then his knee fails, and the myth cracks. There is a moment that exposes the truth of the system. Boobie sits in his uncle's car, not grieving a game, but confronting a future he was never prepared to face. He says he doesn't know how to do anything else. Football was never just a sport. It was the only future anyone ever built for him. As the camera pulls back, the stadium rises behind them, massive, silent, a monument to everything the town believes about itself. For a moment, the illusion breaks. The town did not love Boobie Miles. It loved what his body could do. And when the body fails, the system does what systems always do. It replaces him. Later in the film, we see him watching a sanitation worker in the street. It's a quiet moment, but it carries enormous weight. For the first time, Booby is looking at a life that was never supposed to be his. The dream of stadium lights and scholarships collapses in an instant, and what replaces it is the ordinary labor of a world that does not care about his dreams. The pressure surrounding the team does not come from the boys. It comes from the adults. Men who once played. Men who peaked decades earlier. Men who now sit in bleachers reliving the past. Don Billingsley's father embodies this perfectly. His son is not simply a teenager playing football. He's a second chance. A chance to relive glory that already happened, and that projection becomes cruelty. Because the boy is not allowed to fail. He's not even allowed to be himself. He must carry someone else's unfinished life. There is a painting that captures the logic of this system with terrifying clarity. Saturn devouring his son, painted by Francisco Goya. In the painting, the god Saturn consumes one of his own children. He does it out of fear. A prophecy tells him that one day his children will replace him, that time will move forward, and that his power will end. So Saturn makes a choice. He devours the future to protect the present. The image is grotesque, but the emotion behind it is familiar. Fear of disappearance. Fear of becoming irrelevant. Fear of watching the next generation step into a world that no longer belongs to you. That fear lives quietly beneath the stadium lights of Odessa. The town does not devour its sons with violence. It devours them with expectation. The boys are celebrated, elevated, placed beneath lights so bright they feel mythic. But those lights carry weight. They demand perfection. They demand sacrifice. They demand that 17-year-old bodies carry the pride of an entire community. When a dream collapses, the system does not stop. The next player steps forward. The ritual continues, because the town cannot afford to lose the story it tells about itself. And yet the film also shows something quietly defiant. Not every boy becomes part of the sacrifice. Characters like Mike Winchell, played by Lucas Black, along with Chavez and Billingsley, move through the pressure without surrendering to it. They keep going, not because they believe the myth, but because they refuse to let the myth define them. They may never escape Odessa. They may never become legends, but they leave the field still themselves. And in a system built to consume identity, that might be the most radical victory available. Friday Night Lights understands something difficult. Communities often build identity around symbols, teams, traditions, Friday night rituals beneath blinding lights. Those rituals can bring people together. They can inspire pride, but they can also demand too much. Because when a town begins to believe its future depends on the performance of teenagers, something has already shifted. The boys under those lights are not myths. They are not saviors. They are 17 years old. And the question the film leaves behind is simple. Are they heroes? Or are they sacrifices? That's your thought for the day. Minimum commitment, maximum meaning. See you next time. The Minimum Commitment is produced, recorded, and edited by Don Lawler. Music by Alex Grohl.